Hello, everyone. We've got a really cool interview today. So, we're going to start waiting for people to tune in to this Instagram live session. All right, we've got some folks that are starting to come in. Once AJ joins us, we'll go ahead and invite her in. Hope everybody's having a great Friday. All right. Stay tuned. We're going to be interviewing All Me Advisory Board, AJ Andrews, here on this Friday. We're really excited about it. It's starting to get some people to start to join here soon. And once AJ joins us, we'll go ahead and invite her in. All right. Let's see. All right, there she is. Let's see if we can bring her on. Hey, AJ, how are you?
Hi, I'm well. How are you doing?
Good. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Yes, that
Where,
is
where are
a
we
true
talking
statement.
to you from right now?
I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana right now.
Okay. I was born in Opelousas, so not too far.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So funny.
Yeah, still got a bunch of family down in Lafayette and, bunch of family that's also LSU Tiger fans.
I love that. You gotta be. Gotta be. If you're in this surrounding area, who else are you fans of?
You guys are going national, though. You see LSU fans all over the country, which is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I'm originally from Florida, and there's a lot of LSU fans even down there.
What's the weather like down there?
Louisiana right now it's raining a little bit. It's not like too bad, but it's not like sunny or anything like that.
It's cold here. And you're a Florida person, so you get it. It's probably 55, 56 degrees. So it's when it was 80 something degrees, like earlier this week. I got out of the gym this afternoon. I'm like, man, it is freezing. Winter's upon us. Thank you so much for doing this. This is super cool. I was letting a couple of people here join us. And, for those that are new, I'm Don Hooten. I'm with the Taylor Hooten Foundation. And as you know, AJ, we formed this organization in memory of my younger brother, Taylor. And Taylor was a high school kid, loved playing sports. And like so many of us are still told today, he need to get bigger, need to get stronger, need to get faster. And a lot of us are told, hey, you also got to lose weight, right? So half the kids on his team were using anabolic steroids, and Taylor began buying anabolic steroids, and ultimately, as a result of taking anabolic steroids, wound up in a depression that was serious enough that ultimately he took his life. And we formed the organization, and to date, our education programs have directly reached over 2 million people. And about 5 years ago, we figured, how do we inspire young kids to want to do things the right way and, do things drug-free? And All Me was born. And we began our work with Major League Baseball, and they said, sure, reach out and, we'll build what we're going to call an advisory board. And so I'll never forget, AJ, and I might have told you this story when we first talked, but they thought we would be successful with 6 players. They're like, if we can get 6, we're doing really well. And today we've got 40 major league players from all 30 major league teams, and some of the biggest names of the game. In fact, Clayton Kershaw was one of our charter members who started Game 1 of the World Series the other night.
Yeah.
And we've expanded our advisory board. And I remember the first time, somebody said, hey, have you ever reached out to AJ Andrews? Like, no, but that would be awesome. We connected, and I'll still never forget the first time we talked on the phone. I was like, this has got to be the coolest, most inspirational woman I've ever talked to.
Oh,
And we
thank
are
you.
so excited to have you on the board. In fact, my wife and I were watching a video that you had posted online the other night, and you said you were, what were you? Oh, what? Of course, now I'm going to forget, but fabulously wonderful or something like that. My wife's like, that's exactly me. Or unapologetically fabulous, I believe, is what it was.
Yes, yes.
That's what it was. And she was like, she's speaking right to me. So cool. But no, thank you for being a part of this. And, I'm so glad we're finally able to connect.
Yes, thank you for having me. And that sounds like me and your wife would be really good friends. So definitely look forward to meeting her as well.
Yeah. So, I guess just to really kind of kick things off. So, I mean, when you first, we first kind of talked, I mean, what does all me mean to you, and being a role model, and sending that positive message out to young people?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to know that you are valuable and to know your significant worth and how it is not measured by how others view you or even your performance, right? I think so many times we get caught up as, especially athletes or but people in general, right? We get caught up in our status or our job or what it is that we're doing in order to excel, right? And so I think sometimes we measure our success off of others' success rather than what it is that we did yesterday, how much better we got today, how much better we're moving forward. And I think that for so many, especially young women, right, we just put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect, so much pressure on ourselves to really excel at these levels that in reality are not even attainable. Like it's just, and I think so many times as just human beings in general that we tend to really linger on factors of ourselves that maybe we feel like aren't enough, right? Or that we think should be bigger or better. When in reality, it all just comes down to how you feel about yourself and what it is that you want to reach personally. And I feel as if that, if I can be one of those people that really can share that message of confidence in who exactly it is that you are, because you are enough, right? Whatever it is, whether you're an athlete, whether you're working at a job, whatever it is, if there's something that you want to reach, the goals that you want to reach, there's so many ways to do that that is still going to continue to give you positive affirmations and allow you to reach that confidently without having to subject yourself or your body to substances or really just anything that's negative that's going to really weigh you down rather than uplift you.
Yeah, and I can't agree more. Before we even first talked, I watched countless hours of videos and YouTube videos and everything about you. And I mean, that's all you're ever preaching is, be the best that you can be, and you can do it, and work hard at whatever you do in life, and you don't need all these drugs and outside influences to do so. So it's super cool we were able to connect. So you're from Florida, grew up there. And, tell us about kind of your early career, how you got into softball, and then what took you to Baton Rouge to become a Tiger.
Sure. Yeah. So I played a lot of different sports when I was younger. My main sport was actually soccer. Like I was a huge soccer player. I was a cheerleader. I ran track. I played basketball. Just about, those were like the core sports, like the sports that I played for years. And I tried literally just about everything. And so then I remember trying softball for the first time, and it took you just tell me, hey, you thought about playing this sport? I'm like, no, I'll try it. Like that's really how like I was as a kid. And so my mom was like, you want to play softball? I'm like, sure, I'll try it. And so, I go in and start playing softball. She played on a league, co-ed softball, just, whatever. She just did it for fun. And so I remember it being fun going out there, but I just went because everyone she played with had kids. And so we were all just playing on the park and all of that. So that was my softball. That's why I thought softball would be fun, because it was just fun to just go and play with those kids. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a good time. And now going and getting involved with softball, I was extremely competitive as a kid, always wanted to be the best. And I was one of those kids that are extremely self-driven. You didn't have to tell me to do something. I was doing it. I was very hard on myself, really wanted to succeed no matter what it is I put my mind to. And so I go in to play softball, but it was really one of the first sports where I just had fun first. And I wasn't concerned about winning or getting better or how is it that I can be the best on this team. You go to a softball game with young girls and it's a bunch of loud cheers. It's a bunch of just peppy stuff, just things that a lot of team camaraderie.
Yeah.
And while I played in a lot of team sports prior to that, you didn't have that. You don't have that in basketball. You don't have that with track. You don't have that, really with anything else that I played other than cheerleading, which is literally, rah, rah. But, for me, being able to do that and then just making diving, I'll never forget the first time I got to make a diving catch. To me, it was in Florida, it's dew on the grass every morning, so it's always wet. And, I just go for a ball and try to catch it. And I just remember sliding. And I remember thinking, this is the most fun ever. So now,
Cool.
any ball that comes to me, whether it's something I have to dive for or not, I'm going to try and dive so I can just slide on the grass. But, from that, it just really took my mentality, though, moving forward, where it was, I'm doing things that others won't do. But I just became and got known for diving, honestly, throughout my years of playing. And because it was fun for me to take those risks. It was fun to do those things. I didn't look at it as like I had to do it or I was scared to do it. I was always excited to be that person and just making these crazy plays. And because to me, it was just fun. Like, I wasn't really worried about catching the ball. In my mind, I was like, I'm going to catch it. It doesn't matter. I just want to slide across the grass. Even at freaking 18 years old, that was my mindset. I just want to slide across the grass. And so, from then, I mean, I tell this story to kids all the time. As an athlete, I made a diving catch at just a travel ball tournament when an LSU coach was walking by. And then they began recruiting me from that very moment. And I tell people all the time, had I not dove for literally that one ball in that one moment, you get all these balls hit you, you dive, you don't, you miss, you catch, right? If I just decided to pull up for that one catch, my entire life could be completely different, right? And so I think that's just the importance of, you never know the importance of a moment. You never know what is going to happen. And that's why you always have to go 100%. But I began getting recruited by LSU. I was recruited by a few other SEC schools. Visited Auburn, visited Memphis. I was going to take a visit to a couple other areas, NC State, Oregon. But as soon as I got to LSU, it's an atmosphere that you just don't get anywhere else. It really is. I mean, you mix the Southern hospitality. I'm coming here. Everyone that I meet is calling me Boo or Bae. And, they make you feel like you're at home immediately, cooking for me, and then on my visit, it was LSU was playing Alabama football. And there's just like LSU knew what they were doing. There's nothing that was going to even hold a match to that.
Yeah.
That environment. And so I just remember being just enamored with everything and how everyone was so nice. It's a 10-hour drive from Clearwater, Florida, where I'm from, to Baton Rouge. And so not too far where my parents couldn't come often, but still far away enough.
Right.
So yeah, that's really kind of where, and purple just always was my color. So it was just a perfect mix.
It's a really, really pretty campus too.
Yeah, it's a good time.
And like you said, the food, growing up in Louisiana, I still have family there. Whew, I went to school at, when I first started, the first semester was USL, but then it was University of Louisiana Lafayette.
Yeah.
School there for a little bit. So we came over to Alex Box Stadium when I played baseball. So a couple times played. That's a hard place to play. Their fans will, they'll let you know they're Tiger fans.
Yeah, I think Florida's the worst, but I've never had to experience our fans on the opposite side, so I don't know. I really don't know.
So what's it like playing in the College World Series? Or, getting to play on one of the biggest stage in college sports, and what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, it's unlike anything you ever can really explain. Like, the atmosphere is just so surreal, and then you're in this position that as a child you've watched, right? Like, you've hoped you would get there. This is the biggest moment for softball players. And I just remember watching, when I started playing softball, one of the first games I watched was at the World Series. It was UCLA against Michigan. And I just remember just everything just made me just want to live those moments. And so for me, being able to go twice in my college career, my freshman year, being able to get there so early in my career was something almost like an out-of-body experience. Like, I could remember sitting in the Beef O'Brady's that I was sitting in watching this game for the first time for the World Series when I was 12 years old, and now turning over, 7 years, and I'm here in that moment. And so, for me, I was so excited, and just being able to kind of live your dream. Like, you ever think about your dream, what it is you want to achieve, and then you finally kind of have this maybe deja vu of you stepping into it, right? It's me, I'm stepping onto the field, I'm stepping onto what is reality, but for so long had been a dream. And then moving on, it just kind of, we won for 5th place my freshman year. And then moving forward, all you want is just to get back. And it's like, how are we going to get back? How it is that we're going to achieve this and not just get there, but win. And, it got to the point we didn't go my sophomore, my junior year, but we were very close my junior year. My sophomore year, we had an amazing team. We just kind of just slipped through the cracks. And that's the excitement of it, because it truly is so hard to get there. Like, everyone thinks if you're a good team, you're going to get there. And it's like, that's not the case, right? Like you face so many other good teams, but even if you face a team that maybe isn't talently as good as you are, but softball doesn't know that. The game doesn't know who's supposed to win, right? Whoever plays the best that day is who's gonna move on. And so, but getting there my senior year, it was a whole new mission. We had a countdown to the natty from the first day of practice, because practices can get very very long and something that you don't want to do. And to keep us focused on that, we had every day, it was all right, day 125 till the natty, and we got down literally to day 1 to the natty. We lost in the semifinals, but we got to think where we started. Day 125 to the natty, every day you go on. Day 50 to the natty. All right, y'all, day 10 to the natty. Day 1 to the natty. I think that's really what kept us pushing forward as far as we did.
That's super cool. So you get to play in the College World Series, and ultimately you're drafted and you get to play professional softball. So I got to tell you one professional softball story. When I first started, I've been doing this now 10 or 11 years. We had a partnership, and we were doing a lot of stuff with National Pro Fast Pitch, and we were doing some stuff with the calendar work that we're doing, and we had an event that we were doing with some kids with the Chicago Bandits. And at the time, my dad.
Nadia's on here, so.
Oh, really? Oh,
Nadia Taylor.
Yeah. So we were doing something with the Chicago Bandits, and my dad was supposed to go. Well, at the time, we had formed a partnership with Alex Rodriguez, and as part of that partnership, we were doing programs all up and down the East Coast, and where we would deliver our education program. Then we would surprise the kids and bring Alex out, and he would kind of talk about the mistakes he made, but also, I don't want to make those mistakes again, what have you. So I had the opportunity to go to Chicago, and I remember showing up, and I had like on a short sleeve polo shirt, and it's June, maybe July, and it was like freezing.
Oh yeah.
Still have my Chicago Bandit sweatshirt. They were like $60, like $60. I'm freezing. I'm buying it. I don't care. It's one of my favorite sweatshirts. I still have it today. In fact, I was looking for it. It's right over here in my office. You can't see it. It's on the other side of the camera. But I got to throw out the first pitch. I've never done that ever. I thought this was going to be the coolest thing. And so, I go to the mound and I throw it. So I threw it overhand. So I kind of got the boos, but I also got the cheers. They're like, "Oh, you're supposed to throw it under." I was like, I didn't even know, but it was super cool. But so tell us what that's like, when you get called from a professional team that wants you to come play for them, and what's that experience like?
Yeah, I think that it's really interesting on the women's side, because we don't really have the opportunity until, honestly, this year with Athletes Unlimited, the new softball league, but to really watch professional softball on television and to kind of get excited for it throughout our whole life, and to see, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to achieve, ooh, this is my favorite player. You kind of have to know based off of your favorite players from college and follow them, and hopefully you can stay on top of things. And so for me to think that, because so many people think that college is kind of the peak for softball players, right? That's it. You get to college softball and you're done. And so for me, it was really exciting, the fact that so few girls actually get the opportunity to go play professionally and to continue to play the sport because once you hit your senior year in college, and you think that your time is never going to end throughout college, right? It's fun. You don't think about the end. And then you hit that last practice or that last game, and it's like, I don't want this to be over.
Yeah.
And, so being able to continue my career playing professionally is truly an honor and just so exciting. And something, to me, it became a passion to continue to educate and make people aware that professional softball is occurring. It is a thing. It's something that's taking place, and it's just as exciting to watch, if not more exciting to watch, than professional baseball. And, it's just an opportunity where people don't have to think the way I thought when I was younger of, is college it for me, right? I want to be able to be that person, or one of the people that are continuously allowing young girls to feel as if they can excel beyond college and excel beyond whatever it is that the limits that they place on themselves, to kind of know that you don't have to have any of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, going to play pro, for me, it's more than just playing, For me, it's now become a mission. And so, but I really love the mission. So it's really exciting.
Cool. Yeah, it was cool to watch you guys. I watched one of the tournaments a couple of weekends ago. I think after we first visited, and we were talking with Haley, and she's like, "Are you going to check us out on TV?" I was like, "Yeah," So we might go play all weekend. That was really cool, and I've been following you guys on social media. But one of the really cool honors that you have is you are the only female and the first female ever to win the Rawlings Gold Glove Award. Can you kind of explain what the award is and what that means to you to win the award? And you actually you shared with the story what it was like when you received that award, and you're going into this big room. If you can kind of share that real quick, I think that'd be really cool for people to hear.
Yeah. So yeah, I was the very first woman to win the Rawlings Gold Glove, and for those that aren't aware of or familiar with it, it is the defensive award given out to the best defensive player. Typically, you see it in baseball; it's given to every position, right? You're the best pitcher, right fielder, left, center, so on and so on. But in professional softball, there's only one given overall, so you have to be just like the best defender, and everything in the whole season. So that was really, it's just a lot harder, and I think that makes it even cooler to be able to win. After me now, there have been 3 girls that have won. So I'm the outfielder, very first woman to win, and an outfielder. And then there's been first baseman that's won, a catcher that has won, and a third baseman that has won. And so for me, when I tell, the story about being the first woman to win, where, they announced that they're going to be giving the award, the Rawlings Gold Glove Award out. And I'm thinking like maybe it's going to be like this hybrid award, just like this woman's gold glove, something that's kind of subpar to what the Major League Baseball players receive. And so, I'm thinking like, oh, it's cool, but not really thinking too much about it. And then, as we move more towards the end of season, they let kind of everyone know that, no, this is a real Gold Glove award. Like, this is the actual Gold Glove. And so then now I'm like a little nervous. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I just got to a point where I kind of realized the person that's going to win this, whether it's me or the other 2 finalists, is truly going to make history. Like, you're going to be the person that's really allowing so many bigger dreams and really just breaking barriers. And so we're at the final dinner, and I'm sitting down at the table with some of my teammates, and the people that are going to be presenting the award for the Rawlings Gold Glove Award, they're up there about to announce who's the winner is. And I'm sitting at the table, and I'm like thinking of the other girls, the finalists, their names, right? So that if I hear their name, I'm not disappointed, right? I didn't want to think of it's going to be me, so that the disappointment would sink in. I was like thinking their names so that there wouldn't be any disappointment. I'd be fine. And but so I got to the point where they announced my name, but I didn't hear anything. Like, it was just, I remember sitting vividly at the table and just almost being just like a blur, like me just, like my back was turned and everything. I was just not even paying attention. And my teammate, she shrugged me and she's like, AJ, it's you. And I was like, oh gosh. And I got up, and I didn't even mean to. I was just kind of in like this big daze of like, gosh, this is going to be an amazing opportunity for someone. And so as I'm walking up, I'm tearing up, just like it kind of all just hits me at once. And I received the award, and, being able to kind of be my mission or my responsibility, I feel, to be a pioneer in the sport of softball, and really just continue to tell that story and to let it be known that now it is possible, right, for young girls to be a Gold Glover. Has been really exceptional and exciting.
Yeah, it's so super cool. I tell everybody, that story that I get to meet. Obviously, when we're talking about the work that we're doing and how, our paths cross. But I guess really the final thing is, unless we want to take a couple questions, is if you could go back and give your younger AJ self, right, when you're a kid, some of the knowledge that now, because there's probably a lot of girls that are wondering, how did you get to where you are? It was probably hard work. What advice would you go back and give your younger self, knowing what you know today?
Yeah, I would say the advice that I would give my younger self, knowing what I know today, is that you don't have to be a finished product.
Yeah.
I think for so many people, you get to a point, especially now, I feel like the pressure to just be so perfect, and to get recruited, to be seen, is just extremely high. People are getting recruited younger and younger and younger, and you feel like you have to be just it. You have to be it. You have to be, a college All-American at the age of 13, and it's just not the case. Continue to develop yourself as much as you can, and don't think that. I think, so many times when you're younger, a lot of times people think you have to be one sport specific. And I think it's important to continue to play other sports if that's something that you're doing, right? Not only is it going to develop your athleticism, your agility, but you're also going to be training different muscles that you don't work at when you play softball, which is going to lead to less injury. It's going to lead to you being able to be more functional, lead to you maybe even be stronger in your sport because of the other sports that you have played. And just going to allow you to kind of have quick thinking. You're just going to think differently. I remember when I first started playing softball, all the coaches, it was something, I mean, didn't make any sense to me, but they were all saying, you just read the ball differently. Like in the outfield, I just read it differently. The balls that maybe would have been really good plays for other people to make were just very easy because of the angles that I took to the ball. And I think a lot of that had to do with just my anticipation that I learned through basketball. Like I was probably the best defensive player on my teams. And it's because I stole a lot, right? I did a lot of things. I anticipated what was going to happen, where the ball was going to go, how things were going to look. And I think a lot of that transferred over to softball, me anticipating where the ball was going to drop rather than trying to run with it and catch it. And so, I just think there's a lot of different benefits to being a multi-sport athlete as you're continuing on moving toward the sport you want to play. But I also just think that not only not being perfect, right? Playing multiple sports if that's what you're doing, but also know that failure is a part of your success. It is not the opposite.
Yeah.
Failure, I use acronym all the time. It's first attempt in learning now.
Right.
First attempt in learning. That's all it is. You cannot be successful if you do not first fail. You cannot know what it is that you can grow from if you do not at first know what it is that you have to get better at. Yeah. And I think that, once you get to a point where I feel like we're just so tense, so tight, we don't want to fail as people, let alone especially as athletes, right? Especially in the sport of softball. But you have to realize that there's no other sport than baseball and softball where you can fail 7 out of 10 times and still be considered successful. Like there's no other sport that is possible. Yeah. And so you have to understand that you're playing a very tough game and almost start having fun with failure. Get excited to fail, right? Don't be so concerned what people are thinking, what people are doing. They're failing too, right? People are not thinking about you as much as you think they are. Continue to move on with your process. Focus on, everyone says focus or trust the process. I want you to trust your process. Trust your process to success. Trust how it is that you're moving forward. Get excited about each failure because from that failure, you're going to learn something and you're going to be that much better than everyone else. And while everyone's scared to fail, you're looking forward to it because if I can get this failure over with, I know even sooner how it is that I can be successful. And that is what's going to make you a champion. That's what's going to make you better than everyone else. Not only your acceptance or your excitement for failure, but your opportunity to learn and to continue to be successful. So just knowing that failure is a part of success, it's not the opposite of success. That you do not have to be perfect. Yeah. Get 1% better every single day, and that continue to work on what it is that you want to. I tell people all the time, don't go to the cage. I know when we go hit, and like let me end on a good one, right? Yeah. Don't have that mentality. Your mentality should be, don't go hit until you get it right. Hit until you can't get it wrong, right? Do things until you just can't get it wrong. Set different goals for yourself and continue to build them up. So today I'm going to hit 2 in a row down the middle. All right. Tomorrow's 3. The next day it's 4, right? Continue to challenge yourself. Yeah. But yeah, just have fun. And remember to have fun. Exactly. Have fun. Like you started playing I started playing because I like sliding in the grass, right? Continue to go back to what it is that got you excited. Yeah. And that's really what's going to keep you moving forward too. Awesome.
Well, no, I think that's great advice. And, you're always smiling and, being inspirational. And that's what life's all about. You got to have fun. There's going to be parts that stink and you're going to fail. But, that's the only way we get better. It's the only way we learn. It's the only way we get smarter. But I wanted to thank you for your time. I wanted to see if anybody had any questions here, for AJ while we've got her. I was just going to kind of scroll through this thing here real quick. I see a couple here recently. What high school did you go to? I want to go to Washington for softball.
I went to Countryside High School in Clearwater, Florida. Yeah, I know Washington. I've been to Washington once, and it's very cool. I've never seen I've never been in the field. I've never played Washington personally, but they're also purple. They're not purple and gold, but they're still purple. So, and no, it's a great program over there. Heather Tar is amazing. I love everything that she does and everything that she is. And so, and then, I played with Victoria Hayward, who also played at Washington. And, I just think that the opportunity to learn from someone like that, who my opinion is legendary, is going to be amazing for you if you're able to go and achieve your goal of playing at Washington. And it's very attainable. Don't ever think that it's not something you can do.
Good advice. And then there was a request for a birthday shout out from Rich. His birthday is on tomorrow, October 24th.
Oh, well, happy
Yeah.
birthday. Have an amazing day. It's a Saturday. It's a perfect day for a birthday. Have
No
a
better
good time.
day to have a birthday. And then we had, it looks like one of our supporters said they want to know when you can come into Dallas. We have an event coming up on November 7th. Can we get AJ to come to Dallas for Hoots? It's called Hoots Hoedown. We're having a little, live country music and all that fun stuff. So, but I think that's about it. Okay. Final question. Who are you going for in the World Series? Who's going to win? What prediction are you going to make?
Well, I'm from Clearwater, which is literally 20 minutes from Tampa. So, and my mom is like, I have a whole video. I need to post it somewhere of her breakdown from them playing. Who were they playing? Oh, from them playing Houston. She was hurting during the game where they ended up winning, but like when they started coming back. So anyway, I'm going for Tampa. Would love for Tampa to win, and that's my team.
It's going to be a good series.
I love Mookie Betts though. I want Tampa to win, but Mookie to do well.
Yeah. You're just sport. You're like me. You're a sports. Well, AJ, thank you. I mean, this has been awesome. Happy Friday. Thank you for taking the time, and thank you for being a role model and standing with us to impact young lives. We can't thank you enough.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, be safe out there and enjoy your weekend.
You as well. Thank you guys.
Fun.
Bye.